Plotting in MATLAB probably works differently from what you're used to. It's not going to be based off of functions so much, not so much plot y equals x cubed, plot the function x cubed. It's going to be much more dependent on plotting specific coordinate points. So let me show you what I mean by going to the help documentation for plot. And it's pretty long, but let's just look at the very top, which shows us what the syntax is in the most basic usage. So basic usage is plot takes two inputs, and the two inputs are vectors, a vector x and a vector y. And then what it's going to do is x is going to represent the x coordinates, y is going to represent the y coordinates. So let me show you an example of what this means. Say I do v equals 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is going to be my x coordinates. And say I do w equals 1, negative 5, 10. Now I'm going to plot these, plot VW. And then this plot comes up, and here's what it does. It takes the first x coordinate, the first y coordinate, that gives it a point, gives it the point 1, 1. Then it takes the second x coordinate, the second y coordinate, that gives it the point 2, negative 5, and it draws a straight line connecting those. For the last point, 3, 10, again it draws a straight line connecting those. Okay, so that's how it works. Let me do another example. What if instead of plot VW, what if I did plot WV? So the same coordinate vectors, just in the opposite order. Now let's look at it. So it's a little confusing. Let's stare at it. So now W is the x coordinates. So here I have 1, 1. Okay, that should be the same. And it might be confusing because that point, it doesn't show up on the left. It shows up down here. Here's the point, 1, 1. Next point is negative 5 and then 2. So that's up here. It draws a straight line connecting those. And the last point is 10, 3, which is up here. Okay, so this isn't a function in the Math 13 sense. It doesn't pass the vertical line test. Okay, but it's still something we can plot very easily in MATLAB. Okay, what if I want to plot something like f of x equals x cubed? How would I plot that? Well, let's say I plot it from negative 2 to 2. So I could do v equals negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. I could do w equals, and now I'm going to do the cubes of each of these. Negative 8, negative 1, 0, 1, 8. Okay, then I'm going to plot these. Plot the vector v, then the vector w. Then let's look at it. Okay, and this really emphasizes how MATLAB does this connect the dots format. Okay, it starts here at negative 2, negative 8. Then it has these 4 line segments. Okay, I guess this one, it's secretly broken up here, but it's 2 lines of the same slope. So it looks like just a single line. So what would be a better way to do this? Obviously, we want our graph of x cubed to look better than this. Well, a good way is to use linspace. So let's say v equals linspace. And let's go from negative 2 to 2 with 50 sample points. And I'm going to put a semicolon after it so that this long vector, this length 50 vector, doesn't get plotted or doesn't get displayed to the screen. Then I want to do v cubed. How do I do that? Okay, this would be how you'd first guess, but it's not going to work. But the error message is really helpful. It tells us, oh, you probably want to raise each individual coordinate to the 3rd power rather than raising the whole vector to the 3rd power. So it's reminding me that I should use this special operation, this period and then a caret symbol. Okay, so instead of doing v cubed, I'm going to do w equals v dot power 3. And there you can see I left off the semicolon, so all this stuff got printed. Okay, the difference was here I had a semicolon, here I didn't. And now let's try plotting it. Yep, and that looks a lot more like a cube function.